Welcome to Semester 3, Mathematical Analysis. Today, we are diving into a fascinating and somewhat fragile concept known as conditional convergence. We will discover how a series can balance on a knife's edge, where changing just one rule can cause the entire sum to explode to infinity. Let us get started. Now that we know our topic, let us build some intuition. Imagine you have a bank account where you constantly make deposits and withdrawals with the amounts getting smaller over time. If you ignore whether it is a deposit or withdrawal, the total money moved might grow to infinity. However, because the deposits and withdrawals perfectly balance each other out, your actual final bank balance settles at a specific finite number. This is exactly what conditional convergence is in mathematics. The series converges to a finite value, but if we force every term to be positive by taking the absolute value, the sum diverges to infinity. Building on that definition, we must contrast this with unconditional convergence. Unconditional convergence is just another name for absolute convergence. If a series is unconditionally convergent, it is incredibly stable. You can add the numbers in any order you like and you will always get the exact same final sum. Conditional convergence is the exact opposite. It is incredibly fragile. Its ability to reach a finite sum depends entirely on the alternating signs keeping the total sum from exploding. If you mess with that order, the delicate balance is destroyed. So, how do we identify this fragile behavior? Mathematicians use a specific method called the unified two-step testing procedure. This breaks the problem into two distinct phases to prevent confusion. Step 1 requires us to test the original alternating series using Leibniz test, which checks if the alternating terms shrink to zero. If it passes and converges, we immediately move to step 2. Step 2 requires us to strip away all negative signs and test the new absolute value series using standard positive term tests. If this second step results in divergence, we have successfully proven that the series is conditionally convergent. Let us look at the mathematical engine behind step 1. We start with our original alternating series represented by the sum of a sub n from n equals 1 to infinity. This series includes both positive and negative terms. To apply Leibniz's test, the terms must alternate in sign, strictly decrease in magnitude, and eventually approach zero. The core condition is the limit as n approaches infinity of the absolute value of a sub n equals 0. If the absolute size of the terms shrinks to 0 and the terms are decreasing, the alternating series converges. Once confirmed, we are ready for step 2. Having passed step 1, we move to step 2, which involves analyzing the absolute value series. Here is the formula for it. We take the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of the absolute value of a sub n. By taking the absolute value, every single term is forced to be positive. We then evaluate this new positive term series using tests like the p-test. If we find that it diverges to infinity while our original alternating series converged, we have definitively proven that the original series is conditionally convergent. This fragility we just tested for leads to one of the most mind-bending rules in mathematics, the Riemann rearrangement theorem. Because a conditionally convergent series lacks unconditional stability, changing the order of the items being added literally changes the final result. Why does this happen? It happens because the positive terms alone add up to infinity, and the negative terms alone add up to negative infinity. This gives you an endless supply of both positive and negative numbers to steer the final sum wherever you desire. Let us see the precise mathematical statement of this theorem. It states that for every real number m, there exists a permutation of the series, such that the rearranged series converges exactly to m. In this formula, m represents your arbitrary target value. It can be 5, negative 1 million, or even infinity. The function f of n represents the permutation, meaning it dictates the new, shuffled order of the original terms. By carefully choosing this shuffling function, you can force the series to equal absolutely anything you want. To truly grasp this, let us look at a visual representation. As shown in the diagram, you start at 0 and want to reach the target value m. You achieve this by simply adding positive terms, moving right along the number line, until you just overshoot the target. Then you add negative terms, moving left, until you undershoot it. Because the terms themselves eventually shrink to 0, this back and forth process involves smaller and smaller steps. Eventually, the sum will lock onto the target m perfectly. You can do this for any target on the number line. Now that we understand the theory, let us apply our unified two-step testing procedure to the most famous example, the alternating harmonic series. We want to find out if this series converges conditionally, converges absolutely, or diverges entirely. Here is the mathematical expression for the series. The index n starts at 1 and goes to infinity. The numerator, -1 to the power of n plus 1, is exactly what makes the signs alternate between positive and negative. Let us test this series. We begin with step 1 of our procedure, analyzing the original alternating series using Leibniz test. We need to see if the magnitude of the terms approaches 0. We do this by taking the limit of 1 over n as n approaches infinity, ignoring the alternating sign. This limit clearly evaluates to 0. Furthermore, each successive term is smaller than the previous one because the denominator n is constantly growing. Therefore, Leibniz test confirms that the alternating series converges to a finite number. We are now ready for step 2. Moving to step 2, we create a new series by taking the absolute value of the original terms. This removes the alternating signs completely. As you can see, the series transforms into the standard harmonic series, the sum of 1 over n. We know from the standard p-series test that any series with an exponent of 1 in the denominator will diverge to infinity. Because the original alternating series converged, but its absolute value version diverges, we have satisfied both conditions. We can confidently conclude that the alternating harmonic series is conditionally convergent. For our second example, let us examine an alternating series that shrinks at a different rate. This is an alternating p-series that involves a square root in the denominator. Here is the formula. The numerator, -1 to the power of n, creates the alternating positive and negative signs. The denominator is the square root of the index n. We will again use the unified two-step testing procedure to determine its exact convergence status. Let us see how the procedure handles this new rate of shrinking. Step 1 requires us to apply Leibniz's test to this original series. We set up the limit for the magnitude of the terms as n grows infinitely large. We take the limit of 1 over the square root of n. As the index n becomes infinitely large, the square root of n also becomes infinitely large. This causes the entire fraction to shrink to 0. Since the denominator is always growing, each term is strictly smaller than the one before it. This satisfies Leibniz's test, proving that the alternating series converges. We now proceed to step 2, testing the absolute value version of the series. When we take the absolute value, the alternating signs disappear, leaving us with a positive term p-series, the sum of 1 over n to the power of 0.5. In this new series, the exponent p is equal to 0.5. The p-series test states that if the exponent is less than or equal to 1, the series will diverge to infinity. Since the alternating series converges, but the absolute series diverges, this series is also conditionally convergent. You might wonder why this matters outside of pure math. Understanding conditional convergence is incredibly important in fields like signal processing, quantum mechanics, and computer science. In these real-world applications, systems often involve waves or probability amplitudes that alternate in sign and cancel each other out. If an engineer ignores the alternating signs and only looks at the raw energy, the mathematical model might falsely predict that the system will blow up to infinity. Furthermore, you cannot simply rearrange the order of data in these systems because changing the order of addition will literally change the final physical result. Let us summarize our key takeaways. Conditional convergence occurs when a series sums to a finite number solely because its positive and negative terms balance each other out. If you force all terms to be positive, the sum explodes to infinity. We identify this behavior using the unified two-step testing procedure, combining Leibniz test with an absolute value test. Finally, we must always remember that conditionally convergent series lack unconditional convergence. Their final sum is entirely dependent on the specific order in which the terms are added. Great job working through this complex topic today.